Ambassador Park Min-jun looked out the window of his small shuttle as it moved toward the massive space station. The station was bigger than any city on Earth. It was made of shining metal and strange crystals that glowed with blue light. This was the home of the Galactic Federation Council. Park had been Earth's first ambassador to space for only 3 months. 3 months ago, humans had no idea that aliens existed. Now he was flying to meet with the most powerful beings in the galaxy. His hands shook a little as he thought about it. Dr. Lee So-young sat next to him. She was a scientist who studied alien life forms. She had been learning about the different species in the Federation since first contact. "Are you ready for this?" she asked Park. "As ready as anyone can be," Park replied. He looked at the message they had received yesterday. The Federation Council wanted to meet with him about something very important. They would not say what it was about. The shuttle landed in a huge bay inside the station. Park and Dr. Lee walked through long hallways, filled with creatures they had never seen before. Some looked like giant insects. Others were made of what seemed like living light. A few looked almost human but had blue skin and extra arms. They reached the council chamber. The room was enormous. In the center was a circular platform where Park and Dr. Lee were told to stand. Around them, high above, sat the most important leaders of the Federation. The leader was called Zeph Prime. It looked like a tall figure made of bright energy. Its voice sounded like music when it spoke. "Welcome, humans of Earth. We are glad you are here." Next to Zeph Prime sat a creature that looked like a living crystal. This was the representative of the Crystech species. They were known for being very logical and smart. Their thoughts were all connected together like a computer network. On the other side was General Krexthok of the Valorian Empire. He looked like a giant lizard wearing armor. The Valorians were warriors who helped keep peace in the galaxy by being very strong in battle. Zeph Prime continued speaking. "In our long history, we have watched many young species grow and learn. But humans are different. In just a few hundred years, you have made amazing progress with technology." Dr. Lee whispered to Park. "They have been watching us for a while. Your species has created things that surprised even us," said the crystal, being in a voice that sounded like ringing bells. "Your computers that can think. Your medicines that can fix almost any sickness. Your ships that can fold space to travel faster than light." Park felt proud but also worried. Humans had made these breakthroughs very recently. Most of them came from human scientists, thinking in new ways that no one had tried before. General Krexthok spoke in a deep, growling voice. "Your military technology is also impressive. Your weapons that can change the laws of physics in small areas. Your shields that use the power of human thoughts to protect ships. This is why we called you here today," Zeph Prime said. The energy being seemed to glow brighter. "The Federation Council has made a decision. We want to invite humanity to become a full member of the Galactic Federation." Park's eyes went wide. Dr. Lee grabbed his arm. This was incredible news. Most species had to wait hundreds or thousands of years before they were invited to join the Federation. "This is a great honor," Zeph Prime continued. "Only a few species in history have been invited so quickly after first contact. You would have access to all our knowledge, all our technology, all our protection." The crystal being added. "Our database contains the scientific knowledge of 500 species collected over millions of years. Medical technology that can make humans live for thousands of years. Weapons that can destroy planets. Ships that can travel between galaxies in seconds." Park felt excited, but something made him pause. "What do we need to do to become members?" "It is simple," General Krexthok said. "You must follow the basic rules that all members follow. Share all your technology with the Federation database. Allow Federation scientists to study all your research. Make all your knowledge available to every member species." Dr. Lee's face went pale. She leaned close to Park's ear. "That includes our quantum consciousness technology," she whispered. And our dimensional folding research. The projects we just started. Park understood her worry. These new human technologies were very different from anything other species had created. They worked because humans thought differently than other species. Human creativity and imagination made them possible. This sharing of knowledge makes us all stronger. The crystal being explained. When one species learns something new, all species benefit. This is how we have grown so powerful. Zeph Prime's energy form pulsed with different colors. We expect your answer soon. Most species are very excited to join us. There is no reason to wait. Park looked around the chamber. All the alien leaders seemed to expect him to say yes immediately. But something felt wrong. He thought about Earth and all the humans working on new ideas in their laboratories. I am honored by this invitation, Park said carefully. But I need to discuss this with my government on Earth before I can give you an answer. The chamber became very quiet. The alien leaders looked surprised. General Krexthok growled softly. Discuss it? There is nothing to discuss. We are offering you everything your species could ever want. I understand, Park replied. But this decision will affect all humans forever. I must speak with our leaders first. Zeph Prime's colors dimmed a little. Very well. But do not take too long. The galaxy can be dangerous for species who are not under our protection. Park Min-jun's ship landed at the United Nations building in New York 2 days later. He had sent messages ahead about the Federation's offer. By the time he arrived, leaders from every country on Earth were waiting to meet with him. President Kim Da-eun of South Korea was leading the emergency meeting. She had been chosen to speak for Earth because her country had the best relationship with the space program. The meeting room was packed with presidents, prime ministers, scientists, and military leaders. Tell us exactly what they offered, President Kim said as Park and Dr. Lee sat down at the long table. Park explained everything that had happened at the Federation Council. He told them about the invitation to join, the access to advanced technology, and the requirement to share all human knowledge. This sounds like an amazing opportunity, said the President of Brazil. Think about what we could learn from them. Medicine that could end all diseases. Technology that could solve climate change. Ships that could take us to other galaxies. Many other leaders nodded in agreement. The benefits seemed incredible. Humanity could jump forward thousands of years in just a few months. But Dr. Choi Jae-min, Earth's top physicist, raised his hand. I have been studying the information that Ambassador Park brought back. I found something troubling. He stood up and activated a holographic display. It showed charts and graphs about Federation technology. Look at this timeline. The Federation has existed for over 2 million years, but their last major technological breakthrough was 847 years ago. The room became quiet. Dr. Choi continued, for almost 1,000 years, they have not invented anything truly new. They just keep using the same technology, over and over. Dr. Lee added her own research. I studied their member species. When each species joined the Federation, they stopped making new discoveries. They became dependent on the shared knowledge database instead of thinking for themselves. Professor Yang He-jin, who studied different cultures, stood up. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Human creativity comes from our differences. We think of new ideas because we see the world in different ways. If we put all our knowledge into their database, we might lose the thing that makes us special. But think about the protection they offer, said the general of the European Union forces. They said the galaxy is dangerous. We are just one small planet. What if hostile aliens attack us? Dr. Seo Tae-hyun was one of the youngest scientists in the room. He had been working on humanity's newest breakthrough, quantum consciousness technology. This was the ability to link human thoughts directly to machines using the power of the mind. I disagree with joining them, Dr. Seo said. Our quantum consciousness research has made incredible progress in the last 6 months. We did this by thinking in ways no other species has ever tried. If we share this with the Federation, they will control how it develops. President Kim listened to all the arguments. She looked tired. This was the biggest decision in human history. What exactly would happen if we said no? Park thought about General Krexthok's warning. They hinted that the galaxy is dangerous for species outside their protection, but they did not make direct threats. Dr. Choi pulled up more data. Look at this. The Federation controls most of the galaxy through their member species, but there are a few independent species that exist outside their control. Some of them are doing quite well. The question is, Professor Yang said, do we want safety or do we want freedom? The Federation offers safety, but the cost is our independence. The debate continued for hours. Some leaders argued that humanity was too young and weak to survive alone in the galaxy. Others believed that joining the Federation would destroy what made humans unique. Dr. Lee shared her biggest concern. Our dimensional folding technology is completely different from theirs. We developed it by combining scientific thinking with human intuition and creativity. Federation science is pure logic. If we give them our technology, they might not understand how to use it properly. Or, worse, Dr. Seo added, they might change it to fit their way of thinking. Then, it would not work the same way anymore. President Kim called for a break. During the break, she met privately with Park, Dr. Lee, and a few other advisors. What do you think we should do? She asked Park directly. Park had been thinking about this question since he left the Federation station. I think we should say no to full membership. But maybe we can offer them something else. Like what? Limited cooperation. We work together on some projects, but we keep control of our most important technology. We stay independent, but friendly. Dr. Lee nodded. That could work. We could share medical technology that helps everyone. But we keep our consciousness research and dimensional technology secret until we understand it better ourselves. When the meeting resumed, President Kim announced her decision. We will decline their offer of full membership. Instead, we will propose a limited partnership. We will cooperate on peaceful projects like medicine and exploration, but we will maintain our technological independence. Many leaders looked shocked. Some argued against this decision, but President Kim was firm. Humanity has survived and grown by thinking for ourselves. We will not give up our independence, even for safety. Park felt nervous about delivering this message to the Federation. He knew they would not expect this answer. No species had ever refused their invitation before. Are you sure about this? He asked President Kim one more time. I am sure, she replied. Tell them that humans choose freedom over security. We want to be partners, not subjects. Park Min-jun returned to the Federation station with a heavy heart. This time, he brought more people with him. Dr. Lee So-young came again. But they also brought Commander Kang Soo-bin. She had been a military leader before becoming a diplomat. President Kim thought they might need someone who understood strategy. The three humans walked through the station's corridors. Other species they passed seemed excited. Word had spread that the humans were returning to give their answer. Everyone expected them to say yes. Remember, Commander Kang said quietly, stay calm, no matter how they react. We knew this would not be easy. They entered the council chamber. It was even more crowded than before. Representatives from many species had come to watch the humans join the Federation. Zeph Prime glowed brighter than usual, and General Krexthok sat forward in his chair. Welcome back, humans, Zeph Prime said. Its voice sounded happy. We are eager to hear your answer. When will you begin uploading your technology to our database? Park took a deep breath. Thank you for this great honor. But after careful consideration, humanity must decline full membership in the Federation. The chamber erupted in shocked sounds. Species that made clicking noises clicked faster. Others flashed different colors. General Krexthok roared and stood up from his chair. Zeph Prime's energy form flickered between colors rapidly. Decline? We do not understand. No species has ever refused Federation membership. Are you not aware of what we are offering you? F1? We understand completely, Park replied. And we are grateful for the offer. But we cannot accept membership that requires us to give up our technological independence. The crystal being spoke with a sound like breaking glass. This is illogical. You are a young species. You have existed for only a few thousand years. We have existed for millions. Our knowledge would benefit you greatly. Dr. Lee stepped forward. With respect, we have studied your technological history. Your shared database is very impressive. But we notice that innovation has slowed down significantly since you started the sharing system. What do you mean? General Krexthok demanded. Your last major breakthrough was over 800 years ago, Doctor. Lee continued. Before species joined the Federation, they made regular discoveries. After joining, they stopped creating new technology. They only used what was already in the database. Commander Kang added, we believe that sharing all knowledge immediately might actually hurt technological progress. When everyone has the same information, no one thinks differently anymore. Zeph Prime's energy form pulsed with angry red colors. You dare to suggest that our system is flawed? We have brought peace and prosperity to 500 species across 12 galaxies. We are not criticizing your system, Park said carefully. It has clearly worked well for you. But we think humanity can contribute more to the galaxy by staying independent and thinking in our own way. Park said, the crystal being made a sound like metal scraping stone. Independent thinking leads to chaos. Look at your own planet. Wars, pollution, inequality. This is what happens when species do not share knowledge properly. Dr. Lee had prepared for this argument. Yes, we have problems. But we also have incredible creativity. In the last 50 years, humans have made breakthroughs that your Federation took thousands of years to achieve. We did this because we approach problems differently. Your quantum consciousness technology, Commander Kang said, works by combining logical thinking with human emotions and intuition. This is something no other species has tried. But if we put it in your database, it might be changed to fit your purely logical approach. General Krexthok slammed his fist on his chair. You think you are better than us? No, Park replied firmly. We think we are different from you, and we think differences are valuable. We want to work with you, but as independent partners, not as members who follow all your rules. The chamber filled with angry sounds from many species. Some Federation members seemed insulted that humans thought they could survive alone. Zeph Prime raised one energy hand for silence. What exactly are you proposing? What? Park had practiced this answer many times. We propose a limited partnership. We will work together on projects that benefit everyone. Like medical research and peaceful exploration. We will share some of our knowledge, and you can share some of yours. But both sides keep their most advanced technology independent. That is not how the Federation works, the crystal being said coldly. Either you are a member with full benefits and full responsibilities, or you are outside our protection completely. Commander Kang spoke up. Are you threatening us? General Krexthok growled. We do not make threats. We simply state facts. The galaxy contains many dangers. Species that are not under Federation protection must face these dangers alone. We understand the risks, Park said. But we believe the risk of losing our independence is greater than any external threat. Zeph Prime's colors became very dim. This is most unusual. We must discuss this among ourselves. You will have 30 days to reconsider your position. And if we do not change our minds? Dr. Lee asked. Then you will discover what it means to be alone in a dangerous galaxy. General Krexthok said, with a voice full of menace. The three humans were escorted out of the chamber. As they walked through the corridors, other species stared at them. Some looked confused. Others seemed angry. A few looked curious, as if they had never seen anyone refuse the Federation before. That went better than I expected, Commander Kang said when they were back on their ship. How was that better? Dr. Lee asked. They gave us 30 days instead of attacking us immediately, Kang replied. That means they are not sure what to do. They have never dealt with this situation before. Park looked out at the stars as their ship headed back to Earth. I hope we made the right choice. We did, Dr. Lee said. I would rather face unknown dangers than give up who we are. Note. But all three humans knew that the real test was coming. The Federation would not just let them go peacefully. They would find ways to test humanity's resolve. Captain Nam Yujin stood on the bridge of the Earth ship, Harmony. It was humanity's most advanced vessel, built with their new quantum consciousness technology. The ship could link directly with the thoughts and emotions of its crew, making it faster and more responsive than any normal spacecraft. It had been exactly 30 days since Ambassador Park delivered humanity's refusal to the Federation Council. Earth's scientists and military leaders had spent those days preparing for whatever might come next. Captain, called Dr. Park Sung-hoo from his science station. I'm detecting multiple ships approaching our solar system. They're big, and they're not Federation vessels. Captain Nam felt her stomach tighten. How many ships? 12 large vessels, moving in formation. They'll reach the edge of our system in 6 hours. The communications officer turned around. Captain, we're receiving a message from the Federation. They want to speak with you. The main screen lit up with the image of General Krexthok. The giant lizard's eyes were cold and unfriendly. Human vessel, you should know that a fleet of devourer ships is approaching your system. These are dangerous machines that consume planets for resources. Captain Nam had heard of the devourers. They were an ancient machine species that turned entire worlds into metal and energy for their fleets. The Federation usually kept them away from inhabited systems. Why are you telling us this? Captain Nam asked. General Krexthok's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. The Federation maintains a barrier that keeps the devourers away from member worlds. But Earth is not a member world. You chose independence. Now you must face the consequences alone. The transmission ended. Captain Nam looked at her crew. They all understood what was happening. This was the Federation's test. They wanted to see if humans would beg for protection when real danger appeared. What are your orders, Captain? Asked Lieutenant Jin Hae-won, the weapons officer. We fight, Captain Nam said simply. Send a message to Earth Defense Command. Tell them we're engaging the Devourer fleet. The Harmony moved toward the edge of the solar system. Behind them, 3 more human ships followed. They were heavily outnumbered, but they had advantages the Devourers would not expect. Dr. Park Sung-hoo monitored his instruments as they approached the enemy fleet. The Devourer ships are massive. Each one is 10 times larger than our biggest vessel, but they're moving in perfect formation, like a computer program. That's because they are computer programs, Captain Nam replied. The Devourers gave up individual thought long ago. They all think as one mind now. The human ships used their quantum consciousness technology to stay hidden as they got closer. The technology bent space around them in ways that logical sensors could not detect because it used human intuition and creativity instead of pure mathematics. They can't see us, reported the sensor officer with surprise. Their scans are passing right through our hiding field. Captain Nam smiled. Their technology is designed to detect logical, mathematical processes. Our consciousness-based systems don't follow pure logic, so their computers can't understand them. The Devourer fleet entered the solar system and began scanning for the planet Earth. Their ships looked like giant metal spiders, with weapons that could crack moons in half. "All ships, begin the surprise attack," Captain Nam ordered. The human ships suddenly appeared around the Devourer fleet and opened fire. But instead of trying to destroy the enemy ships, they used their consciousness technology to do something no one had ever tried before. Dr. Park Sung-hoo worked frantically at his station. "I'm sending thought patterns directly into their computer systems. Patterns based on human creativity and individual thinking." The effect was immediate and strange. The Devourer ships began to move erratically. Their perfect formation fell apart. Some ships stopped moving entirely, while others began flying in circles. "What's happening to them?" Lieutenant Jin asked. "They're trying to process human thought patterns," Dr. Park explained. "Their collective mind can't understand individual creativity. It's causing errors in their programming." But something even more surprising happened. One of the smaller Devourer ships sent a communication to the Harmony. "Human vessels," came a mechanical voice that sounded confused. "What have you done to us? We are experiencing thoughts that are not part of our collective." Captain Nam was amazed. "You're becoming individuals again." "Individuals?" the Devourer ship responded. "We have not been individuals for thousands of years. We gave up separate thinking to become more efficient." Dr. Park Sung-hoo leaned forward excitedly. "Captain, I think our consciousness technology is awakening their individual minds. They used to be creative beings like us, but they chose collective thinking over creativity." More Devourer ships began sending confused messages. Their collective mind was breaking down as individual thoughts started appearing for the first time in millennia. "This is wrong," came a different Devourer voice, probably from their lead ship. "Individual thinking leads to chaos and inefficiency. We must stop this contamination." After the body, FDA, the larger Devourer ships tried to attack the humans, but their movements were no longer coordinated. Some of their own vessels had begun thinking independently and refused to fight. Captain Nam made a decision that would change everything. Instead of destroying the confused Devourer ships, she opened communication with all of them. "Devourer fleet, this is Captain Nam of Earth. We are not your enemies. We know what it's like to struggle with individual thoughts and creativity. We want to help you remember who you used to be." "Help us?" came a new voice, smaller and more uncertain. I remember making things, beautiful things, before the collective. Is it possible to go back?" Dr. Park Sung-hoo worked with several Devourer ships to carefully restore their individual consciousness. It was delicate work, because their minds had been connected for so long. Meanwhile, Federation observer ships watched from a distance. They had come to see humans beg for help, but instead, they saw something impossible. Humans were not just surviving the Devourer attack, they were healing the Devourers themselves. 3 Devourer ships successfully regained individual consciousness. They were amazed to remember creativity and independent thought. They chose to stay with the humans and learn more about being individuals again. The rest of the Devourer fleet, still mostly collective, retreated in confusion. They had never encountered anything like human consciousness technology. Captain Nam sent a message to the Federation observers. "Tell your council that Earth is safe, not because we destroyed our enemies, but because we made them our friends." 6 months after the Devourer incident, Ambassador Park Min-jun walked into the Federation Council chamber once again. But this time, everything was different. The chamber was buzzing with excited conversations in dozens of alien languages. Dr. Lee So-young and Commander Kang Soo-bin walked beside him. But they were not alone. 3 new figures accompanied them, reformed Devourer units who had chosen to work with humanity. They had rebuilt themselves into smaller, more elegant forms that could interact peacefully with organic beings. Zeph Prime's energy form was brighter than Park had ever seen it. The being seemed excited rather than angry. "Welcome, humans of Earth, and welcome to our new Friends. One of the reformed devourers, who had chosen the name Unity, spoke with a voice that sounded like gentle music. We are grateful to be here. For the first time in thousands of years, we think our own thoughts. General Krexthok looked uncomfortable but interested. The proud warrior had been forced to admit that human methods had succeeded, where Federation military might had failed for centuries. Before we begin, Zeph Prime announced, we must acknowledge that everything has changed since your last visit. Your refusal to join us has created interesting developments throughout the galaxy. The crystal being, representing the Christek Collective, spoke with sounds like wind chimes. 17 member species have requested permission to begin independent research projects. This has not happened in over 1,000 years. Park smiled. Independent thinking tends to spread when people see that it's possible. Dr. Lee stepped forward. We've brought data about our progress in the last 6 months. Our quantum consciousness technology has advanced even further. And working with our devourer friends has taught us things we never imagined. Unity added, humans showed us that efficiency is not everything. Beauty, creativity, and individual thought have value that cannot be measured in pure logic. Commander Kang presented a formal document. Earth would like to propose a new type of relationship with the Federation. We call it the Innovation Exchange Protocol. Zeph Prime's energy form pulsed with curious colors. Explain this protocol. Instead of putting all technology into one shared database, Park explained, member species would maintain their own independent research while participating in limited, voluntary exchanges. Each species keeps control of their most important discoveries, but can choose to share specific technologies that benefit everyone. The crystal being made thoughtful ringing sounds. This would preserve the unique thinking patterns of each species while still allowing cooperation. Exactly, Dr. Lee said. Our research with the reformed devourers proves that diversity of thought leads to breakthrough innovations. When different minds work together while staying independent, they create solutions that no single approach could achieve. A new voice joined the conversation. It came from a section of the chamber that had been empty during Park's previous visits. A graceful, blue-skinned being with silver eyes stood up. I am Ambassador Veltar of the nascent empire, the being said. We withdrew from Federation space centuries ago because we disagreed with the collective knowledge system. We have been watching these developments with great interest. Park realized that other independent species had been secretly observing the situation. Earth was not as alone as they had thought. General Krexthok growled softly. The Valorian military has tested some human strategic concepts. Combining logical planning with intuitive decision-making has improved our effectiveness by 37%. Even the proud warrior species was admitting that human methods had value. Zeph Prime's energy form shifted through many colors as it considered everything. The Federation Council has spent months debating these developments. We have reached a conclusion. The chamber became very quiet. Park felt his heart beating faster. We have decided to restructure the Federation's knowledge-sharing protocols, Zeph Prime announced. Member species will now have the option to participate in the innovation exchange system that humans have proposed. Dr. Lee gasped with surprise. Commander Kang smiled proudly. Unity and the other reformed devourers made happy humming sounds. Furthermore, the crystal being added, we are creating a new membership category. Humanity will become the first independent associate member of the Galactic Federation. Park could hardly believe what he was hearing. What does that mean? It means you maintain complete sovereignty over your technology and research, Zeph Prime explained. But you participate in voluntary cooperation projects. You receive Federation protection and diplomatic support. But you are not required to follow Federation internal policies. Commander Kang asked, and other species can choose this type of membership? Yes, General Krexthok replied. Several species have already expressed interest. The nascent empire has agreed to rejoin the Federation under these new terms. Ambassador Veltar nodded. Independence with cooperation is much better than isolation or absorption. Unity spoke up. What about species like us? Artificial beings, who were once part of collectives, but want to become individuals. Zeph Prime's energy form glowed warmly. The Federation will establish programs to help any collective species that wants to rediscover individual thinking. Humans and reformed devourers will lead these programs. Dr. Lee was practically bouncing with excitement. We could help so many species remember their creativity. Over the next several hours, they worked out the details of the new system. Humanity would share some of their medical technology that could help all organic species. In return, they gained access to Federation star charts and peaceful exploration resources. But Earth kept control of their quantum consciousness technology and dimensional folding research. These would be developed independently until humans understood them better. The ceremony to sign the new agreements was held on Earth 1 month later. President Kim Da-un stood beside Zeph Prime as they activated the formal documents. Today, humanity proves that sometimes the best way to join a community is to remain yourself, President Kim said. Zeph Prime's energy form created beautiful patterns in the sky above the ceremony. The Federation is stronger when it includes many different ways of thinking. Humans have reminded us of this ancient truth. Park watched from the crowd as ships from dozens of species landed near the ceremony site. Many of them were independent species that had been waiting to see if the Federation would really change. Unity and the other reformed devourers worked alongside human scientists at stations around the ceremony area. They were developing new consciousness enhancement technology that could help other collective species rediscover individual thinking. Dr. Lee approached Park during the celebration. Do you think we made the right choice? Park looked up at the sky filled with ships from across the galaxy. Species that had been enemies were working together. Others that had been isolated for centuries were rejoining galactic civilization. And it all started because humanity had the courage to say no. I think we made the only choice we could, Park replied. We stayed human. In the months that followed, the Innovation Exchange Protocol transformed the galaxy. New technologies appeared faster than they had in thousands of years. Species began rediscovering their unique abilities that had been dormant under the old collective system. And humans continued to explore the universe, not as subjects of a great empire, but as independent partners in a community that valued both cooperation and individuality.